Want to know how to start a successful coffee shop? Stick around to find out. In this channel, we interview business owners, entrepreneurs, and CEOs that are good at what they do. Here they share their secrets and stories so that you too can apply that to your world of business and be successful like them. So make sure to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell to be up to date with the latest business trends. Or to stay alive, because if you don't subscribe, we will find you. In this video, we are interviewing the owner of Joe's Fine Coffee, where he'll be sharing with us the secrets of how he started the business from the ground up to be where it's at today. Here in the great Pacific Northwest, where it always rains, but surprisingly, coffee is still the #1 fluid of choice. In fact, you might get stabbed if you drink Folgers coffee. Just don't let them find out. Don't drink Folgers coffee. It sucks. I don't know what you're doing with it. So the demand for high quality coffee is undoubtedly large. So starting a coffee shop might just be the golden ticket. So in this video, Joe will take us step by step on how to start a successful business here in the Pacific Northwest. Coffee businesses love the fact that the world is drinking 2.2 billion cups of coffee each day. However, it is also reported that 70% of all people prefer to make their coffee at home, as it's becoming easier to become your own barista with increasing technology with coffee makers and espresso machines. However, an average American spends about $1,100 per year on coffee shops alone. Many shops want to make their way closer to the city. However, this coffee shop makes its stand in a small town in Maple Falls, where its main source of traffic is the highway. I love it. The target audience here is hikers, snowboarders, hitchhikers, hipsters with plaid shirts and hats not fully covering their heads, or anybody just on a long trip going home while they're driving on a highway. And here we have a sit-in and a drive-through. All right, so let's go meet Joe, or Joester, or Joe Meister. Oh wait, Joe Minator. Let's go meet Joe Minator. All right, hey Joe, welcome. Are you a coffee connoisseur?
I wouldn't say connoisseur. I'm getting to that point,
okay.
But I really do enjoy coffee. I'm a big fan.
Okay, I guess find out where you are on the map. What's your favorite roast?
So it depends. Roasts, we have certain different types of roasts, but I like something very light.
Light, okay,
and
that's
so
good.
If you want something light, and then getting something from an Ethiopian region, really nice,
so
because it's very fruity, beautiful taste, and we're a big fan.
You get a good high score on that, because my next question was, what is your favorite origin?
Origin, yeah. Ethiopia, Guji region,
okay.
really
And that's
nice.
what you guys sell here?
So we have one of the roasts here. That's one of our specialties here.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorites. And it's grown in a higher altitude too, about 2,000 meters.
Wow.
So when you have a higher altitude, you have a smaller bean, just like high altitude blueberries.
Okay.
They just taste so much better. They're a smaller bean, better flavor, better everything.
Dude, you passed my coffee connoisseur.
Beautiful.
Test. All right, so take us through the beginning of this coffee shop. What made you start this? Was it a passion for coffee, or was it a business mindset or motivation? What was it?
So this business was started out of the passion of the heart. This was not a business decision, because there's a lot of other things I could have done with the finances that I put into this company. Right. And so mainly, I know I've traveled to about 150 different coffee shops in the last 2 years. What I tried to do was take the best of what I found in those coffee shops and try to turn that into a place that's awesome, super clean, really good coffee. And it's difficult because sometimes you find 2 of those things, we don't find all 3 of those. And so our goal is to focus on 3 things: people, great process, and great products. And we focus on great products. We have great processes that we're always improving as well. And we have really good people. They're happy, reflects and everything. So, that's kind of the reason why I started. It's because I wanted to do that, not because it was a business decision. It was more of, I had the real estate. I needed to do something with it. And that's kind of what happened out of it.
That's awesome. So how do you keep a healthy, positive environment where people are focusing on those 3 aspects?
Yeah, it really comes down to the leadership in the company. Evelyn does a really good job with that. And it starts from the top. She does a really good job of empowering the people, empowering the baristas here to do whatever they need to make the customer happy. And we also want to focus on quality, and how we do that is not push them to do something faster, but to push them to do the process better, which will then make the process faster, but the quality of the product will not suffer. And that's what's important to us, is have a really high quality product that also has a really good process, right? And we empower people to change the process. Our process sucks, but we're trying to get better every single day.
Yeah.
And that's part of it, is improving the process. And if we don't improve the process and we don't empower our baristas to do that, we will not be getting better as a company.
That's awesome. All right, so what is your process to improve the process? How do people report the problems that they're having? How are you seeing lack of efficiency, and how do you problem solve for all that?
Really what happens is we have fractures. So we have a really busy day, it breaks records, and we break the system. And only through that do we know that our process sucked before that.
Okay.
And that's the only way we can really tell, because theoretically speaking, everything's gonna work perfectly until you actually try it.
Right.
And when you do try it, then you're like, wow, this actually sucks. And every single time we have a record day, that's when we have huge improvements in the process, because we know that we have great people. That's never gonna change. It's always a process issue, always a process. And we try to focus on attacking the process and not the person, because that's where the issue's happening in the first place.
Okay, that's awesome. That's great. What is your role in this company? What do you do?
So I lead the coffee shop.
Okay.
I run the day-to-day things with scheduling, making sure everything is running smoothly with inventory and all of that. And then I also work here as a barista.
Are you a good barista? Do you make good coffee?
Well, yeah, I feel like
Just checking.
yeah, I feel like from when I started, I became better because I had no experience at all,
Okay.
not even working on an espresso
When you started here?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, zero experience. I had to have a barista trainer come in here and teach
Okay.
me everything before we opened. So I had like
Okay.
a little makeshift espresso machine that I
Okay.
worked on and watched a lot of videos, and
Yeah. So who does the hiring and the firing? Do you do that?
I do.
You do? Okay. Good. What's the
Yeah.
process of hiring somebody?
So the process of hiring is I look at the person, make sure that they're passionate about customers, passionate about people, passionate about coffee, and just for me, if somebody refers me to someone, I'm ready to interview them and
Yeah.
find out more about them and see if they're a good fit or not.
Yeah. Yeah. What would they have to do to get fired? Like, what's my limit? Can I do?
If you don't show up when you're scheduled,
That's it. Wow, that's strict. I was thinking like you're spinning a cup and you're fired. Like, no,
No.
just show up out the
yeah,
door.
that's my number one thing. Yeah, you
Great.
gotta commit to this.
Punctuality.
Because we, put a lot of time and money into training
Right.
you, and it takes a lot of time to train
Right.
somebody. And then if you don't show up, and then your passion dies down, and you're just like, just take this for granted, then that's, you're not fit here.
So, how long have you guys been open?
So we opened in January.
Okay.
The exact date is January 7th, 2019. It was like we planned on opening it in September.
Okay.
And we set a date, September 1st, I think that was. That didn't happen. Then we kind of said, okay, maybe in 2 weeks we'll open.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. Maybe in a month. That didn't happen. Because, there's a lot of things that go into
Yeah.
opening a coffee shop, and with renovating the place and just even the training. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't ready to be open. Yeah, and then January 7th, it was, I remember, 10 a.m. We slowly just opened the doors and people started coming in.
Wow. So did people start coming in right off the first day?
Everybody was waiting. Like
Oh,
people were still like working in here, painting. People would, just poke their head in and ask like, hey, when will you guys open? Are you guys open?
Did you guys do anything beforehand to let people know you're opening? Any kind of like?
We did set up like a makeshift coffee stand,
Okay.
and we advertised to everyone there that hey, we'll be opening up soon. Yeah, and the social media.
So our next question is, how much does it cost to open a coffee shop like that? And can people do what you did with a smaller budget?
So it really depends. Once again, I told you I didn't get into this as a huge financial, profit machine. So you have to have money set aside if you want to do it right. I went to 150 coffee shops, not as a joke. I did it to research and check what's going on. And because of that, I was able to see this is what I need, and I'm gonna go new on everything, and we're gonna get the best of everything. So we have zero excuses for shit product. We have no excuses for a lackluster product because we have all the best machines. And so it costs us $100,000 to put this to the state it is.
Together.
But this is our real estate. To find a coffee shop that stands alone, that has a drive-through, that does have no other buildings attached to it, is a unique thing. We're not renting the place, right?
Okay.
We own the real estate of it. And that's part of the reason why I was able to invest more into it, because I know that it's gonna reap benefits in the future. Our original budget was $25,000. It didn't work out. And it so happens that, everything worked out, and we decided that if we're gonna do this right, we're gonna do this right. And I can only do one thing for my leadership team, is give them the tools to make the right product for us. If I don't give them the right tools, the right ovens, the right machines, the right processes, the right tablets, it's not gonna work out. And it's my fault at the end of the day because I was unable to give my team what they wanted.
I like your model, dude. So what's your overhead right now, since you said you own the real estate? Obviously it's now smaller, right? But what is your overhead, and you could say percentage-wise?
Yeah, so the most expensive part is labor, of course. That goes anywhere from 25% to 35%, depending on the day and how it is. Weekends are profitable days. Weekdays are our least profitable days. Weekends, it can be about 4 or 5 times as busy as a regular work day. And so weekends are really where our money is made.
Okay.
And so it took us as a company about 4 months to get to a position where we're able to cash flow everything. Everyone's getting paid. All the taxes are being taken care of. Everything's worked out where there's a cash flow and a surplus to start moving forward.
What about your product? How much do you spend on product percentage?
It could be anywhere from 10 to 20% depending on what you're buying. The most profitable thing in any coffee shop is the drinks. If you're just going to focus on just drink, you'll do okay, but you won't have that extra 25% of income coming from pastries and sandwiches and burritos and things like that if you're doing a coffee shop vibe.
All right, so our next question is, what is your business plan, and did you stick to it? Or did it change, evolve over time, and you have to adapt to certain things?
Yeah, the only thing I can guarantee you if you're getting into business is change. Everything changes. If you set some structure or you set something in stone, you're automatically set to fail. Be ready for change, be excited about change, and then turn change into improvements, and that's how you can grow the business.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, so do you market your coffee? Do you spend any budget on advertisements, on any kind of, whether it's online or here, or if you're wanting to push a product like this of coffee, obviously you're displaying it, but what's your marketing strategy, and how much do you invest into it?
So we haven't invested much in our marketing strategy yet. What we like to do is use what we have. We want to be really resourceful people. And so what we do is use social media to be able to promote the things that we're doing. And that seems to work out pretty well. Everyone's on social media. Everyone, uses social media at coffee shops. People find coffee shops that way as well. So once we do gain a following on those platforms, we like to educate our customers because there's a lot of repeat customers in a coffee shop.
Okay.
What's coming out, what's new, and things like that.
All right, so Evelina, show us the shop. Show us how things are ran, and what do we got here?
All right, so when you walk in, you notice right here we have our apparel.
Yeah.
Press them with the 3 mountains.
Beautiful. I love it. I like this brand because you guys are a mountain. I love it. I love it.
That's kind of our, our brand that we like to also put on our coffee bags, tables, and then this is our register.
Growth the way.
Very simple. Yeah, very simple. You just slide your card or.
It takes out the Samsung. Okay.
Yeah, and then we have our coffee cell here, and then whip balm. Very important.
Yeah. My only question is why at a coffee shop? Why would you sell a lip balm?
I don't know. Us Joe, you
It's just a hipster thing to do. It's just hipster. It's all guys.
It's just a little extra something.
Fits the brand.
And it's a local farm here in Deming.
Oh, okay. Local is.
Yeah, we support local businesses.
Yes. And is your coffee local? I know it's from Ethiopia, but is it roasted local?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
great, awesome.
And we have our oven. This is kind of like the front area is all the food. We have our panini press where we make our sandwiches, our prep floor. And then this is where all of the
this is where the magic happens.
happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we make sure everything is cleaned at the end of the day. It's sparkling and shining.
Yeah, it is very clean.
And then our fridge, we have an under-counter fridge where we can reach in quickly, grab the milk, and grab the pitchers and everything.
And do you ever switch out coffee beans?
We don't. We mainly have the same coffee beans because we want to stay consistent with our coffee and have that signature Joe's Fine coffee.
That is a very nice grinder. I'm a coffee connoisseur, as you can tell, and that's a beauty. That's a beauty.
Yeah.
I have a poster of this in my room. Kidding.
Yeah.
So what kind of flavors do you guys have?
So we have our main latte flavors right here: vanilla, hazelnut, sugar-free vanilla for people who don't want regular vanilla, caramel, salted caramel, and then this year we actually started our Italian sodas. So this is more of for the Italian sodas that we make, like strawberry, blackberry, lime, mango. There's some odd people who do Irish cream.
Okay.
And Yeah, coconut, strawberry, raspberry, lavender. I use this lavender for like London coffee.
Which of those go fast? Like which is the most popular one?
Vanilla.
Vanilla, of course.
And then this is the yield, the scale we use for the yield of how much espresso.
And you use that only when you dial. You don't use it on.
Yeah. As soon as it's dialed, you can take it away and just kind of throughout the day, if you see that, you take this out again and dial it again.
Gotcha. Okay. So how does the person behind the window? What is their job mainly here to do? I mean, obviously they're not pulling shots. They're making orders.
So we actually do everything here.
Oh, okay.
We make food, we make coffee, we take orders. So whoever's closer to the window and they see the customer pulls up, go take their order, and we have like a process down where all of our orders pop up onto the iPad. Yeah, so once you place an order, all of that order will pop up onto this ADS, and so whoever is working on the espresso machine can see the order, so they don't accept that order.
Right.
And as soon as they're finished, they can exit that out.
Okay.
It's all complete.
I mean, we got sink and all that.
Yeah, we're one of our things that we strive for is cleanliness.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And yes, and we have a checklist that.
How does this house look like? Have you ever been to this house? Is it clean?
It's
To take
pretty
his socks
clean.
out?
At the end of the day, whoever is closing, it's their responsibility to make sure the espresso machine is clean, the oven is clean, the Canadian press is clean, everything is well put in order so the person coming in the morning has everything ready.
Well, hey, thank you so much for showing me around. This is awesome. You guys have an awesome thing going here. If you are locally, stop by, say hi to Evelina. She's awesome. She made a great drink. So yeah. Give us top 5 things somebody needs to do or steps in order to open up a coffee shop like this. And I'm not talking in a sense of like, hey, work on your character or you gotta this, but like literally step by step. Not even the first 5 steps, but the top 5 steps.
So the first thing, you want to get a really good location. You know, like any real estate person would know, location, very important. Then you got to determine, are you going to be the entrepreneur or are you going to be the owner of the company?
Okay.
If you're going to be the entrepreneur, start gaining the skills to be a great barista. If you're going to open an espresso stand, get good at the craft. Number 3, make sure that you have all the codes, everything lined up for the health department. Very, very important. If you do not have that, you're not going to be able to operate. Number 4, make sure you have occupancy for the building. If you don't, you won't be able to occupy the building. Pretty simple stuff. And number 5, just make sure you have a good team around you. You have to have a great team, So how did you fund this business? Do you have a business beforehand? Do you run something on the other end of things? Yeah, so the company, we have about 10 steps away from here. That definitely funded this company. I started that when I was 16 years old in my bedroom with a couple buddies. Went to our garage and this warehouse now. Now we have 30 people, so we're growing and moving forward. We're gonna do that on the next video. We really want to interview your other business. We want to do a walkthrough and show you what that is. I mean, he just gave me a quick glance and it's pretty awesome. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and we'll show you what he has in store for us for our next videos to come. All right, so walk through your average workday. And I'll ask Evelina this later, but from your perspective as the owner that's running 2 businesses in a sense, you're working there, you come in here, what is your workday and what do you expect from your workers? Yeah, that's a good question. What I really like about the thing that I do is it changes every day. It's really difficult to tell you exactly what's going to happen. I can only tell you that my day starts at 8 because that's our first morning meeting. Okay. And from there, I can't really tell you what goes on. And did people here meet at that meeting or that's separate? So it's separate. So they have little scrums here. So in between sessions, in between the workers coming in and going, they'll have a couple-minute meeting explaining what's going on. They also go through defects, change points, and improvements. We do that. We have a Voxer channel where we communicate back and forth. And so for my responsibilities at the company next door, I'm actually passing a lot of those on right now. And a lot of it is tailored to emails, phone calls, essentially a lot of HR, a lot of leadership, making sure my team is equipped with the right tools and resources to be able to move the business forward. Do you think it's possible for somebody to open up a business like this and be successful, not knowing anything about the food industry, anything about the drink industry? Yeah, so this is what I believe as a philosophy for anyone I hire. I don't care about anything except for an attitude and if you're a kind person. Skills can be taught. We did not know how to operate. And what I love about coming into an industry fresh, you disrupt it. you don't have any boundaries because you don't know what's not possible. Not knowing what's not possible allows you to do the impossible.
Okay. So another question I have is, what are 3 things people can do to really screw it up? Let's say they have the money, they'll throw into it, they have the passion to do business. What are the 3 things that they can do when they have the money, they have the passion, how can they screw up?
Easy. You do shortcuts.
Okay.
The most important thing is quality. Okay. Speed is the 3rd most important thing.
Okay.
Quality is the most important, the simplicity of the process, and the speed is the 3rd most important. And so if you're not focusing on quality, you're gonna disrupt this $100,000 investment you made because you have a shit inferior product when it should be a premium product expressed by the interior and exterior of the building along with the people here.
Okay.
That's a huge thing.
Well, that's huge. If you got quality down, you pretty much got all of it down. So, all right. Well, thanks so much, man. Thanks for this interview. This is awesome.
Thanks,
Great content. If you want to know more, go on their website, go on their YouTube channel.
Joe's Fine Coffee. You guys can find us on YouTube, and you can just look us up online.
Get connected. Yeah. This is a great atmosphere, like you're saying. It's about relationships. If you're in the area, stop by, say hi, and have a cup of coffee.
Adios.
All right. Well, that's all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. You guys found out what it takes to open up a coffee shop, but it's doable, right? Even if you haven't done it before, it's doable. And these things, you can open it, right? It takes the will to do it, the will to change, and just willingness to keep trying, right? You don't have to be good at it at first. It's the effort that matters, right?